So I would strongly recommend not backing Mark Carney or his policies on net zero, which have been disastrous for Britain and would be disastrous for Canada.
We need to use effectively a shadow carbon price, polite way to say it, but the carbon price path out to $170 by 2030 is exactly the right policy.
Pierre Poilievre explains how Mark Carney's love of carbon taxes will cripple Canada's economy as trade tensions with the U.S. escalate. And this is not something that Carney is going to be able to hide from, because the evidence is everywhere. He's left this huge trail of evidence behind him, talking about how much he loves carbon taxes and wants to increase them. And shadow carbon taxes. Let's watch.
The question in French was about whether I think that Mark Carney will abolish the carbon tax. Well, the truth is he can't do that without recalling Parliament. This is the carbon tax law. It's in place today. Until Parliament is recalled, this carbon tax law will be the law of the land. What he might do is hide the carbon tax by telling CRA to stop collecting it for 2 months before the election. So let me ask you if you think this is a believable proposition. 100% of his ministers voted dozens of times, not just to impose the carbon tax, but to raise it. Mr. Carney, his only public criticism of the Liberal carbon tax was that it was not high enough. They've had this tax now for over 7 years. The law that they still have in place would quadruple it to 61 cents a liter. And you believe that they're not going to bring it back 2 days after the election? Well, I think Mr. Carney has some land he might sell you in Florida, some swampland he might sell you in Florida if you believe that whopper. The reality is that Mr. Carney loves carbon taxes, and if you elect him, you will pay a brutal price. And he has also said he will be bringing in a shadow carbon tax targeting Canadian industry, and he has specifically singled out steel. There will be tens of thousands of steel, aluminum, cement, and other industrial jobs lost under Carney's carbon tax. The combination of Trump tariffs and Carney's carbon tax will destroy our industrial sector and make us hopelessly dependent on the Americans, all while profiting Mark Carney's personal investments in other countries, investments that he still knows he has, investments that, like the carbon tax, he just wants to hide. The good news is that common sense conservatives will axe the tax for real, for everyone, for good. We will make sure it never comes back. There is only one way to axe this tax, and it is to vote for the Canada First Conservatives.
And the thing about this is that these aren't just idle words from Pierre Poilievre, right? Like, there's a trail of evidence. This is all that Mark Carney's been talking about for like the last 15 years. His shadow taxes, right? The net zero stuff, basically ending Canada's energy industry, right? This is all he's been talking about. I mean, you don't need to make anything up. It's all there, him proudly, happily talking about it all, what he wants to do in Davos with the World Economic Forum, for the UN. It's all there. There's no hiding it. This is going to be a problem for Mark Carney. And again, you don't need to make anything up. It's all there in his own words. There is enough material to make 1 million attack ads on him. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.